Welcome to another Business Spotlight, where we share pearls of wisdom, reflections and insights from local business owners. My name is Kerry James. I'm a business coach and a facilitator. I'm on this afternoon's Business Spotlight. I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Henry Gomez, founder of Tatama Coffee. Good afternoon to you and welcome to Business Spotlight, Henry.
Hi, good afternoon, Bob. Thank you very much for the invitation.
You're very welcome. So Tatama Coffee, please give us a little bit of the history. How long has the business been going, please? And what do you specialize in the coffee industry?
Well, the Tatama Coffee itself started in 2017, and I specialize in single origin Colombian coffee. I started the coffee business because I wanted to support my family farm in Colombia, which is the farm where I was born. So try to save the farm in a local farming community where producing coffee in small quantities is not as profitable as the big farms. So I started just to save my farm, but I ended up helping a lot of farmers, people I met and knew from my childhood. So it's a small community, but I am part of a co-op that is about 95 people, 95 members at the moment. So I started 2017, pure single origin coffee, fully traceable to source.
And you supply, who do you supply to? Who are your customers then in the UK, please, Henry?
Well, I supply to small micro roasters, roasters who specialize in single origins, special fermentation, special varietals, and they support individual farmers. So the main link here is to connect the roasters with a particular farmer. So you get a relationship. You create relationships between them. So the farmer knows he's working for a roaster, and they give their best in the fermentation process and production. And the roaster, in a way, guarantees that production is going to be bought at a certain price, usually above the C market price, which is the commercial market price for coffee.
So the roasters, they sell them into coffee markets, or do they sell them to delicatessens? Who are their customers in?
Well, both. Normally, small roasteries, they have online websites and online shops. They go small coffee shops. They go their own coffee shops in the roastery. So it's different avenues for the coffee. But obviously, after sorry about that.
Okay.
My phone went. Shall we?
That's okay. No, keep on going. You're saying about the roasters, about having their own roasteries or supplying local delicatessens. So that's great. So in relation to all the changes we've gone through over the last 3 years, whether it's people working from home, or people buying more online, or the digital revolution, or COVID itself, lockdown, how have all those trends impacted on our coffee purchasing behavior and impacted on your industry and your business, would you say, Henry?
Well, it has changed a little bit because more people are aware of, especially with COVID, as it happens, a lot of people ended up ordering more coffee online. And like my business, I also do my own roasting. So I do roast small batches, and what I ended up doing was delivering to the homes. And now it's more online, but obviously also it changed in a way that a lot of roasters have like subscription-based customers, and a lot of people are subscribing to these services, so they're getting a different way of getting the coffee. So it has changed in a way.
And did our overall consumption of coffee in the UK actually go up during lockdown, similar to alcohol? I think that's been shown, I think, isn't it?
Maybe not as much as alcohol, but what has changed though is that coffee drinkers, they go more conscious about the quality of the coffee they were drinking, because obviously if you buying from the big chains, you get very standard qualities. If you buy from micro roasters and specialized people, you get good quality coffees, and you got traceable coffee from different parts of the world. And I think more conscious. They are more conscious about what the coffee tastes like, the origins of the coffee, how the coffee is sourced, how whether is eco-friendly, if it's from a big farm that produce and they can really look after the coffee the way a small farmer will do, because it's not the same way processing small quantities of coffee at the farm level to processing tons and tons of coffee as they do in the big farms, like for instance in Brazil, where the
All of
farming is so
which,
extensive. Pardon?
so all of those changes have been good news for your business.
Yeah, they have,
Yeah.
because it has created a bigger market in a way, but also has created a lot of people wanting to do the same. So a lot of micro roasters are coming on from everywhere at the moment. So more and more roasters are opening, small roasteries, but in a way it plays in my hands as well, because that means I got more people to sell my green beans to. So when I import coffee, I import green, and that goes to the micro roasters. And some small batches I roast myself and sell it to coffee shops, restaurants, or to the public or online as roast coffee.
Okay, so quite a few changes in the marketplace that you're dealing with. What in terms of the business today and where you're trying to get to the business to then, Henry, what would you say are the main challenges you're facing?
Main challenges, I think now is trying to secure uh, like the roasters commit to buy the coffee, because as there is quite a lot of demand, there is also a lot more supply, because it's in the specialty coffee it's easier because you go small quantities in a way, but it's difficult to compete with the big players of the in the market, importers that have been going on for years and years, and they go a very big financial muscle to supply coffee to the masses. So is securing those contracts, so you get a contract and it's secure that they're gonna buy that coffee from a particular probably producer, or from a particular region, or from a particular co-op.
And
So
is
that
that
is one of the challenges.
okay? And in terms of your kind of ideal consumers or target audience, is there a subset of people that particularly like Colombian coffee, or particularly like the idea of buying from a small farm as the origin of the coffee?
Yeah, well, Colombian coffee has been famous for so many years, luckily. So it's been, and the quality, we've been improving a lot in terms of quality, because initially Colombia produced coffee for the masses, what is called the commercial coffee, the C coffee. And now, with the new wave of coffee in a specialty, a lot of farmers are becoming more professional, and they are educating themselves to do special fermentations at the farm level. And that is something that will happen like in wine. If you don't do it right at the very beginning, it will never taste good. So these farmers, we training them, we providing equipment, technology, so they can control the fermentation process of the coffee, and that improves the quality. And with the quality is where we compete, because if you bring coffee as a whole, it's just another commodity. But if you bring quality coffee, you got something to talk about, you got an experience, you got a history behind it, you got a particular person that you are supporting. So it becomes like, my idea is to make it one-to-one, a roaster to the producer, or people, the end user at home, that start knowing which producer are looking after the coffee they're drinking. So
Yes,
that creates like a bond between the people. That's what I'm aiming for.
like the provenance in wine, isn't it? And knowing that the whole source and the whole route. Very interesting. Okay, so what about aspirations for your business, Henry? You know, what sort of size and shape are you now, and where do you see the business in 3 to 5 years?
Well, at the moment, I'm one of the small importers. because I'm concentrated on my people I know and people I trust with the fermentation and production of coffee. But my aim, after I manage to get those links between roasteries, producers, will be to open a roastery in the UK, a small roastery with a coffee shops, and hopefully use the revenue to support farmers and young people back home so they can become baristas, they better roasters, they can embrace the coffee as a business, because at the way a lot of people at the farm level in so many countries, they see coffee just as a survival way. They just produce coffee because they need to survive. I want the new generations to look at coffee as a business that they can thrive if they dedicate to it, because it's a lot of work to be done, especially in the production countries.
And what are the particular challenges of opening your own roastery then, Henry? Is there a particular requirements for the building or the location, or what would you need to open your own roastery?
Well, the roastery itself is like is financially mainly, and as well as financially, is also securing the market. Like, it's no much of a point having a roaster without having the end user for the coffee that you want to roast. And you have to have the volumes of roast coffee or the demand for the roast coffee to be able to support an operation like that. So, is in a way, it's a marketing way. It's a marketing barrier at the moment, where you have to get more people, increase your sales to be able to compete or to supply that demand using your own roastery. So it's like, yeah, securing the customer base and the niche of a specialty coffee and specialty coffee drinkers.
Yes, and I imagine, as you say, there's quite a capital investment in the machinery that you need. So we're both based in the northwest, as we all know. So have you got an idea about where might be a good location for your roastery?
Well, luckily enough, I am near Manchester, which is a good place, and it's a lot of specialty coffees coming up and opening up all the time. So I would say this region is okay. Um, the the ideal situation will be to be able to cover wider, like London, Southeast, even Scotland, which I've been working with a lot of customers, and just making those connections and hoping that they will click and join together, and that demand is going to be uh, quite soon. We will be able to achieve that target quite soon, but it's mainly at the moment it's a marketing thing, contacting people, uh, giving them the samples to try, making sure they know where the coffee is coming from, who produces the coffee, and the expectations, and what they can actually benefit from serving a good cup of coffee, because you can retain your customer base if you have a good product.
Absolutely, absolutely, very good. Okay, so what about in relation to the lessons that you've learned, Henry? Clearly, you've come from a specialist coffee farm in Colombia, and now you are in the UK running your own business. In terms of the lessons you've learned about running a business as opposed to being a coffee expert, what are the top lessons you think you've learned so far on your journey?
I think one of the main ones is that you have to be so consistent, believe in yourself, uh, be more organized, and uh, trust your instinct. Just go with what you think is best. And I think that the way I look at it is easier to go slow at the right pace, but grow organically, than rush into things. Sometimes I think, oh, I should get my roster now and start doing that. But if I think logically, I know I have to do one step at a time to be able to succeed. So I
Um,
think it's that, and respect your customers and value them as much as you can, and just kind of look after them the best you can.
And when you say consistent, what are you thinking about, Henry? Is it consistency of daily habits? Is it consistency of marketing? Is it consistency of customer service? What's top of mind when you say consistency?
I think I mean in the way that if you set out a plan, just follow it up and carry on. Just don't give up. Just be consistent every day. Just wake up and make sure that you want to make the business thrive, that you want that business to be successful, and put it in your mind, because it's very difficult to lose the belief in yourself, because things get tough in business. It's not as easy as I thought it will be, and there is a different challenge every day. It's a different issue, a different problem, a solution that, and you learn every single day. You learn a lesson. So for me, just keep going, even if it gets really tough. Just okay, it's another lesson learned. Let's move on. So it's consistency in that way, that you had to persist.
Consistency in learning and consistency in resilience. Very good. I like that,
Yeah.
Henry. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for sharing your journey, Henry. I've got one last question for you, if I may. If anybody is interested in following up and having a conversation with you in relation to your coffee business and where you sit across the kind of production and supply chain of coffee, what might be a sensible next step?
Well, people can contact me through my website, www.tatama.coffee. That's TATAMA.coffee, as it sounds, or directly at henry@tatama.coffee. That's my email address, and I will be more than glad to help as much as I can, and
Lovely.
hopefully create new relationships.
Very good. Well, we'll put those URLs, those website addresses, with the videos that will come from today, Henry. So that should help things along. And once again, many thanks for your time, your input, sharing your journey, and all the very best with Tatama Coffee.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for the invitation.
You're very welcome. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.